Didn't they honeymoon in New Hampshire?
That was his first wife. That was his
No.
previous
No.
wife.
But
Yeah,
they,
she was
Previous
singer.
wife?
First
He's
one,
got a new
not,
wife
not the
since
new
then.
young wife. No, he has a
she's
new
a-
young wife.
She's a singer, and she is even gone. If I were him and I would have told her, I would have told her, now you stop singing. But what happened, there's a new record or something of what they call an album with all the silly songs, and it's not even a nice voice that came out. And it is her, you know, the first lady, and you can buy it in the shop. But this is, no. It's not
She looks
a
good.
Pardon?
she looks
looked
good.
Yeah, well, and that's why. Yeah, she looked good.
Immigration
Yes.
in France.
That's a good one. Because, in fact, yes. Yes, indeed, the French colonies were in the past in the north of Africa. And as many colonies, there's an influx now to this, to France. Like the British colonies also, and in Pakistan, and a lot of people from that area have gone to Britain. And in France, there's a lot of Algerians and Moroccans that went over there, and with their religion too. Those are Muslims, and they claim to have their own habits, of course. And here we have, for example, a problem with the society. The French the public schools, and not the private schools, but the public schools they did not allow girls to have scarves on their head. Because then they show that they have a religious color, it's Muslim color. So this is one of the problems we have there, yes, indeed, and it is not easy. This is something that you don't have in America so much, and that's lucky. No. There are millions of Muslims in France. It's the second religion.
Then is it easy to immigrate to France? Then it's easy to immigrate to France?
Well, yes, well,
If you're from a-
maybe yes, because there are laws for the reunion of families, and you have of course also these artificial constructions that a girl marries and then they divorce in France, this kind of thing, and this abuse of the laws is very common and difficult to fight. It's a real problem. I agree.
Can you say something about the change of policy between Sarkozy and Chirac before him?
Yes, well, Chirac, he was the president before this, and indeed, maybe you're referring to the event that the relationship between America and France was bad, well, it happened indeed, yes. Chirac had commercial relations with Iraq. Chirac, yes, he had with Iraq, he had with commercial relations, and they did not, they insisted on having more proof about these weapons of mass destruction, and then it went wrong, in fact, in the United Nations, and then it was decided that France would not go with the Americans into Iraq. And this was really, the Americans were very angry about that. I remember that. But now, at this moment, we have a president that has repaired as much as possible the relationship with America, and he did a good job. In fact, one of the things he did very well, Sarkozy, I mean. And another thing is that you mustn't forget at this moment there are many French military in Afghanistan. They are working together with the Americans. And that's another matter, because that is something that the French were backing. And then not knowing more, there were 10 French military that were killed in one little battle, and it made a tremendous impression on the French people. And there was, of course, there were voices that said, well, let's withdraw and that kind of thing, but it was not decided. And it was Sarkozy said, no, we stayed over there, and they are still there, and they have improved things, information, I don't know what. But this is what happened. Another thing, one of the reforms that the French President Chirac has forced is the reform of the military. And a lot of regiments of the army have been lifted, and the towns where they were residing, they of course was upset too, and there was an enormous commotion. And on the other hand, the money to the defense is going up, and I think what is it then going to? Because they are decreasing some of the military people. Well, they have enormously extended the information service, the secret service, to be adapted to the modern warfare, which is terrorist and anti-terrorist actions, you see. And to be able to do that, they have now increased their capacity to do that. And that is one of the reforms that Sarkozy has been forced to. Yes?
You know how in America we have the president, we're about to elect a new president, and then we have Congress, which has the Senate, and the House of Representatives. Does France have something like that too, where you elect the president, but then you have a separate place where you elect, unlike in England, where in England you elect the party, and then they choose the prime minister?
No, that's I don't know quite well, but I know that there is a Senate, and there is also the deputy, somebody deputy, that is the House of Representatives. It's comparable.
So it does have sort of a checks and balances system?
Yes, well, you have, yes, checks and balances. I don't know what it is, but I think this is somebody called the district in Rekenkamer.
That's just the checking.
Bevoegdheden.
That's the checking.
Controles en bevoegdheden.
Yes, well, it is not the same in America, of course, but it works, and it is more or less the same. The constitutions affect
Because you have a prime minister too in France, right?
Yes, that's
prime
right.
minister,
And
then you have
many ministers, yes, and they don't have a vice president, because if the president dies, then the president of the Senate is taking place on the presidency. That's the only thing I know, and for the rest, well, there are relatively many civil servants. 3 million, I think. It's an enormous amount. And so they are in several layers, because you have, first you have the government, and then you have the département. No, that's even not that. Then we get the regions, with a number of maybe 10 regions, which is a number of départements together. Then you get this layer of département. Then you get the community of communes, of villages, of cities. That is together, and those consist of a number of villages. And even a village like mine, where I live, is 300 people. They have a mayor and they have a community council. And so there are tens of thousands of communities.
And the mayor of the little town actually is full-time mayor?
No, well, yeah, full-time mayor, yes, certainly, but the mayor, the town hall is only open 2 days in the week, huh? But that is the way it goes in France. All the little villages have their own, very typical French.
But the mayor doesn't have any other work?
Sorry?
The mayor has no other work, just...
No, he has, of course, other work. He's a farmer. That's normal.
Yeah.
You have 11 elected people, but that is quite a number. And yes, so.
Very interesting.
Thank
Thank you.